Up first is Jeff Hurd. Can I please have the representative for Jeff Hurd please come to the stage?
Okay, so obviously many of you know I am not Jeff Hurd. I just want to establish a little bit of credibility and let you guys know a little about myself. My name is James Harvey. I am currently the chairman of Young Republicans for Pueblo County. I moved to Pueblo County in 2011 to attend CSU Pueblo. I wrestled there and got a degree in psychology. I also met my lovely wife, and now we've got 2 children. And we've established roots here in Pueblo. And I can't speak highly enough of this city and what it means to my heart. It's near and dear to my heart. When we established roots here, I heard a lot of rumors about this place being the armpit of Colorado. But to me, this place has been a city of refuge. It's been a home for me, in a place where I was orphaned in spirit, and the Lord adopted me into his kingdom. My first encounter with Jeff Hurd, I know him on a personal level. Jeff gave me a call when I was elected to my position as the chairman of Young Republicans here in the county, and he asked us to join him for the State Fair Parade. And I was incredibly honored. In the same way I'm honored to stand here today on his behalf and speak about who he is as a person. He gave me some bullet points to speak about, but with 3 minutes, I think it's much more impactful to speak about who I believe he is as a person. I think most of us in the room are educated. When I first had the opportunity to walk with him in the State Fair Parade, Jeff showed up with his family to greet me, and watching him interact with his children and with his wife, and the respect that he had for the people around him, and for the people of Pueblo, moved my heart with compassion for who he is as a man. And I got the opportunity to pray with Jeff and his family, and just to really develop a relationship that day. Since then, he's continued to develop a relationship with me. And I've heard from multiple people that they don't believe he cares about this city. And I assure you, he cares not just about the city, but about the individuals like me, who are small business owners, who in this economy are struggling to make ends meet. They're struggling in order to assure that their employees are still employed. They're struggling to raise their children in a school system that supports ideologies that are not healthy and raising them up in a true identity of who they are. I support Jeff Hurd, and I am honored to endorse him, not only personally, but for Young Republicans of Pueblo County.
Up next, can I please have Adam Frisch to the stage?
Hey everyone, it's great to be back. I am Adam Frisch. I want to thank Noah and Angelica and the rest of the staff for the Latino Chamber. I'm excited to be here tomorrow night for the Latino Veterans Courage Awards as well. To Tracy and the rest of the board members, it's been an honor to continue to build up relationships. I feel like I'm in this room every week or two doing something to show my support for how much, to me, this is not about Team Republican or Team Democrat. This is about being on Team Pueblo in Team Colorado's 3rd District. I went home and added up all my days that I've been in Pueblo, and I'm here to report this is my 120th day to be in Pueblo, Colorado since having this conversation started in February of 2022. And I think after Southern Colorado being ignored from Pueblo down to the entire San Luis Valley in Otero County, it's important to put your priorities right and show up. And I think showing up is the biggest thing that needs to happen in this district, because there's not enough people that are focusing on it. One of the biggest things I've learned across this driving around, the other number I'll tell you is I've been 70,000 miles of driving over the past 2.5 years. And luckily I've been doing most of it with my son Felix And I think what we can always agree on, though, is that we live in the most beautiful district in the entire country. Our district is bigger than the state of Pennsylvania. We have all of the New Mexico state line, all of Utah, and a third of the Wyoming border. And I just keep on going back to how important it is showing up. I was honored to be at CSU Pueblo and to speak in front of the student union, had some conversations with Armando, our new president. We just keep on being here over and over and over again, and it's not just attending events like the Children's Advocacy Center gala that was here a couple months ago, but it's actually showing up at the Children's Advocacy Center in their office and learning how some of the most troubled and challenged people in our community need the help. And my job, sitting in Congress, is to make sure that I'm supporting the county commissioners, the mayor, the city council, the state representatives, the state senators, and to be that conduit to make sure that there is a lot going on. You guys know, you might not know this, but Colorado and New Jersey are the two states in the country where a lot of that federal money gets stuck going straight to Denver, and from there it gets divvied up. So it's not just getting money out of DC, of returning taxpayer dollars back home. It's about making sure that when I'm advocating for Western and Southern Colorado, to make sure that money just doesn't get lost in Denver as it has been in the past. And even though money's supposed to be going to Pueblo or the San Luis Valley, it ends up in Douglas County or something like that. And so I'm here again to remind everybody, this is not about Team Democrat or Team Republican, this is about being on Team Pueblo, and I have a track record of showing up, and I'm honored to be here today. So thank you all very much for supporting the Latino Chamber.
Up next, we will hear from the candidates in the State Board of Education Congressional District 3 race between Ellen Angeles and Sherry Wright. And up first is Ellen Angeles.
Hello, I'm Ellen Angeles, and I am a teacher from Montrose, Colorado. I was lucky enough to be born into a family of educators. Sometimes that's lucky, sometimes that's not lucky. But I've been able to see over the years how important education is. So when I graduated from college, the first thing I did was not be a teacher. So I spent about 10 years in banking and working for a Fortune 500 company. And then I met a guy from Colorado. And next thing I know, I've been married 20 years and I've spent 20 years in education. I was lucky enough to teach at Colorado College in Leadville. I worked in Durango, and I've spent most of my career in Montrose. My specialty was working with English language learners, so this makes me so happy to be here because a lot of you don't realize this, but right now, I'm picturing you as first graders and fifth graders. Because really, that's what education does. We take our students and we bring them to life so that they can contribute to our community. And every child matters. So I was at Mesa last week, and my opponent unfortunately didn't show up, and I don't think she's here this evening. And I tell students half of life is just showing up. And so I want you to know every decision I make is going to be showing up to see what's best for our students. As an ESL teacher, when I went up to the high school, I found out that businesses just like yours and communities just like ours need students to have those life skills. And I met someone who jokingly said, you know, kids do better and go to college and start businesses if they get out of their town for a minute. And so I took 30 kids to London and Paris, and it was so much fun. And now I see them going to school to become physical therapists. I see them opening businesses in the community and working in my community. So when I get to the State Board of Education, I'll be going to Pueblo, into Durango, into Del Norte, into Alamosa, to find out how we, as educators, are helping our community so that you have good employees, good resources, and good things in your community. So I really appreciate being here today. Again, I apologize if I look at you like you're a first grader or a fifth grader, but it's because I want to see that change in you. How many people in this room have been educators? Will you raise your hand? How many people in here are products of public education? Will you keep your hands raised? This is why public education matters. So I'll ask you one last thing before you donate to Ellen for Colorado. Talk about your favorite teachers and actually send them a letter. If they're still around, send them a letter and thank them. So please vote for me, and I appreciate being here. Thank you very much, Noah.
Do we have a representative for Sherry Wright? All right, the next race we will hear from, or at least acknowledge, is the Regent of the University of Colorado at-large race. Do we have a representative from Elliott Hood or Eric Renard here? Okay, the next race we will hear from is the Regent of the University of Colorado Congressional District 3 race. Do we have a representative for Robert Logan or Ray Scott here with us? Okay, we will go to the next race, which is the House State Representative District 47 race between Elizabeth Boltheis and Ty Winter. And up first is Elizabeth Boltheis.
Hi, my name is Elizabeth Boltheis. I'm running for Colorado House District 47. Thank you, Noah. Thank you to the Latino Chamber for having us all here. A little bit about me. I grew up in Colorado, in small town Colorado. I grew up in Golden, graduated from Fort Lewis College in Durango. I love small town Colorado. It is, it's a wonderful, wonderful thing when you see the communities come together and work together. And it's something that I value, growing up in that. I've lived in several different places. Colorado will always be considered home. And it's because of those values. It's because of our communities and our small towns, and our educators, that we are so special and unique in that way. Colorado's rural communities are priceless, and it's really what this state is all about. It's been said, you know, a lot of the attention goes to Denver and to up in the bigger cities. And southeast Colorado is a very forgotten area. It's a very large district. It's basically the southeastern corner of the state. And we don't have enough attention. We need to have more attention. We need to have more commitment. And we need to come together as a community. There's a rural urban divide that is really causing us to move backwards. If we can find a way to bridge that gap and find a way to work together, I think we can make amazing things happen for our communities. You know, there's a lot of legislation in Colorado right now that's very important to me. I absolutely feel that a woman should have the right to choice. Colorado schools are public education. You know, public education is absolutely, I'm a product of Jeffco County, you know, Jeffco schools. I loved growing up in public education. I loved my high school career, I loved my elementary school teachers. I think public education is being threatened right now, and I feel like we need to make sure we protect it and get our teachers the money that they deserve, the income that they deserve, and get our students the teachers they deserve. So that's very, very important to me. I was very proudly, I was endorsed by the Colorado Education Association, so I'm very proud to have their backing. I hope I can count on some of you also. I do promise to legislate with integrity and with inclusion. Everyone in my district will be represented, whether they voted for me or not. And I also, you know, promise to be honest and to listen and to find out what the needs are in our communities so that we can work together to get them done. So I just wanted to thank you all very much for this time. Again, Elizabeth Boltice for HD 47, and thank you again to the Chamber.
Up next is Ty Winter.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. It's good to be back in Pueblo. I always enjoy coming to Pueblo. It reminds me a lot of my home community, the Trinidad area. Come from a proud coal mining people, and you all have the steel mill workers here, and I think we have kindred spirit when it comes to that. First and foremost, I want to recognize the Hispanic Heritage Month. I think that's important to bring that up in this forum. It's really important to southeastern Colorado, the heritage, and I think that's something that we fight for, whether it's for farmers and ranchers, whether it's for steel mill workers, coal miners, oil and gas workers. We have a certain heritage. We're a strong people in southern and southeastern Colorado. I think it's important to recognize those things. We all know that the issues that we're facing, they're all over the TV, whether it's affordability, if it's inflation, the cost of energy, what it's doing to business, what it's doing to our communities. The things that we face are in front of us all the time. I can stand up here and talk about those things. But one thing I do want to talk about is I am your sitting state representative, and I went to the Capitol over the last 2 years, and I've advocated hard for southeastern Colorado, and it's been an honor to do that. Born and raised in southeastern Colorado, fourth-generation farmer and ranch kid, small business owner. Proud to be from southeastern Colorado. I tell people, if you want southeastern Colorado, it's from the top of my head to the tip of my toes. I enjoy representing this district. It's the honor of my life, probably the most important job I've ever had as an individual is to represent you all, and I promise to continue to do that. I want to run through some things that I have done at the State House, and I think that's important. I worked hard on a lot of pieces of bipartisan legislation, and as the representatives here know, with 1,400 bills in 2 years, sorry, I have to have a cheat sheet, but bill numbers kind of start to run together after a while. Escar's is shaking her head, she understands. So in 2023, some of the things that I was really honored to work hard on is trying to get veterinarians in our state. We did the veterinarian repayment program to add more scholarships for that. I was honored to serve and get that bill done. Another bill was the physician's assistant. One thing that we know is there's gaps in healthcare, especially in southeastern Colorado. And to be able to allow physician's assistants to do a little bit more work is important to fill that gap. Another bill I worked on was the youth mental health. That means that kids on Medicaid in southeastern Colorado, they can skip seeing their primary physician and actually go get the mental health they need and not have to wait. Also did the eggs product inspection bill with one of the local representatives here. That makes sure that Pueblo, especially with their Pueblo chili, we know that that product that leaves Pueblo is a good solid product that goes out to the rest of the state and to the world. We did an energy bill to study all types of energy, especially in southeastern Colorado. Energy is ultra important. This year, the agricultural stewardship bill, soil health bill. I mean, it's putting tax dollars back into the district that helps its people. Thank you. PERA ran a bill where superintendents can come back on the job in southeastern Colorado. It's hard to recruit teachers, so we made it where the teachers that are in the district can come back. Ran a bill to strengthen punishments for human trafficking. That's a real thing that we're seeing. Whether you agree on the border issue or not, it's an issue. Human trafficking is an issue. It's something that we should be Americans disgusted with and try to stop. I ran a bill to help with asbestos and lead paint abatement. Proud of that bill. Firefighters plan to make sure those firefighters are getting their money. So that's some of the things I've done. Thank you for your time. I hope to get your vote again. Ty Winter for House District 47.
The next race we will hear from is the State House Representative District 46 between Tisha Morrow and Kim Swearingen. Up first is Kim Swearingen.
My apologies. I'm short, so I had to pull the microphone so you could actually see me. My name is Kim Swearingen, and I'm running for House District 46. To kind of get it out of the way, I heard it even today. My name is Swearingen. The Swearingen name carries a lot of weight here in Pueblo, and I am related to Zach, distantly. He is my husband's second cousin. So just to get that out of the way, that's who I am. I came down here to go to school. I went to school at CSU Pueblo. My husband and I both did. He grew up we both grew up in the military, so we met in Woodland Park, where we graduated from high school, and came down here to go to school. He came down, and I followed him, because that's what girls do sometimes. And he got his degree in classical guitar, where I got my degree in music performance, and that's why I'm able to speak to you today. I have a second degree in civil engineering technology, as well as a master's in business. And that's what I'm going to talk to you about today, is that master's in business. I can relate to you as business owners. I can relate to you as people with families. And I can relate to you in the way that we all use natural resources. My family consists of one son. He has 2 children, which I am very proud of. They are great kids. They're 5 and 2 years old, and I'm here to represent those guys as well as you. When it comes to my master's in business, I actually was working in business before I got my degrees. I worked for fast food restaurants. I was a nail tech. I did many things where the customer has to be number one. And with you, I would put you as number one. So, with that said, I would like to thank the Latino Chamber of Commerce. All of you here today, I appreciate you. As me as a negotiator, I would come here and I would negotiate with you in the way that, well, how can I represent you at the Capitol? So with that, kimforcolorado.com. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Up next is Tisha Morrow.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you. First of all, thank you to the Latino Chamber for hosting this event, and thank you for everybody coming. My name is Tisha Morrow. I will give you a little bit of background. I was born and raised here in Pueblo, out east of Boone, on an 800-acre farm and ranch. So water issues, all of those types of things were very, very introduced to me early on in life and have carried all the way through. I then went to all District 70 schools, so Boone Elementary, which is now closed, Excelsior Middle School, which is now closed, Pueblo County High School, and then I went to USC, which is now CSU, but that makes me old, so we won't talk about that. Anyway, then I spent 24 years in the small business industry here in Pueblo. So I'm very proud of that background. I have enjoyed small business, which I think is a backbone of our community, along with the steel mill, along with our farms and ranches. I raised my 2 boys on a farm and ranch, and very proud of that. Then I wanted to run for office, and the reason is because I love Pueblo. I've lived here my whole life, and I think it's just a great community. And the more you get out of town, the more you appreciate it. Sorry, I'm like shaking up here for some reason. It feels a little earthquaking to me for some reason. Anyway, I'm very, very honored to be your representative. Sorry. It's an honor of my life, actually. So some of the bills I worked on were front range passenger rail, and also probably the most proud of this last session was the funding for K-12 education, which brings more money to District 60 and 70, more than it has been in over 30 years. So I'm really proud of that. Over 75% of my bills were bipartisan, so I enjoy working across the aisle. And I don't know why. I wish I could stand on the floor. This thing is making me shake. So anyway, I do apologize for that. It is, like I said, a great honor, and my door is always open. I will talk to anybody about any subject at any time, and I would ask for your support in my re-election. Thank you very much.
Up next, the race that we will hear from is the State House Representative District 46 race. The District 62 race between Matthew Martinez and Carol Regenbach. And up first is Carol Regenbach.
Everyone, it's so nice to be here. Thank you for all for coming. My fellow candidates, legislators, NOAA, the Pueblo Latino Chamber of Commerce, and especially during National Heritage, Hispanic Heritage Month. Thank you. You know, you're gonna find me Carol Rigaba on your ballot in House District 62. I'm a native, fourth generation farmer, rancher, Coloradan. I live in the San Luis Valley in Monte Vista, actually in the same town as Matthew. And we don't live very far from each other. Imagine that in this great big old 8-county district. I'm a nursing home administrator, assisted living and home health operator. I own several businesses, and it's fun to be here with the Chamber of Commerce. Chamber of Commerces are so important across our whole state. They support so many industries and small businesses and create a space where business owners like yourselves and leaders can come together. I applaud the Latino Pueblo Chamber of Commerce. You guys are fantastic. Can you imagine the potential Pueblo has to build business here? Can you imagine that without crime, drugs, homelessness, and have all that under control where our families can grow and thrive? I can see it. Look around at the magnificent architecture and the city design here in Pueblo. There must have been great leadership here and definitely strong economics. Why can't Pueblo do it again? We have great people, great resources in the state of Colorado, and great leadership sitting in this room, in fact. We can do this. I'm asking for a job with my leadership skills, experience, land development, managing budgets, multi-million-dollar budgets, managing teams of hundreds of people to actually go towards a common goal. And I want to be a part of the team here that can get something done for Pueblo. We could build Pueblo's east side and Bessemer back again. I have some ideas that could make a real difference. Imagine if we could rein in government spending, incentivize businesses to locate here, roll back the red tape to own and operate a small business, and get a grip on the cost of living and so much more. Colorado is aging, and the funds to support our older adults is also rising. I've got ideas for that as well. Tabor needs protected. Those who walk into a store and steal from one of our people needs to be prosecuted. The approach to crime with the state currently has right now needs to be more aggressive. How can we expect our people to thrive in the businesses, let alone in their families, with crime so rampant? Last but not least, the farmer and the rancher needs the state's attention and respect. We now have to import more food to the United States of America. We've got to respect our ranchers and farmers. God bless Colorado, God bless Pueblo, and God bless all of you. Amen.
Do we have a representative from Matthew Martinez?
I apologize ahead of time, I'm reading this off the phone, so. Matthew is a 7th generation Colorado native, born and raised in Monte Vista, Colorado. He enlisted in the United States Marine Corps and deployed on the 31st MEU in 2007, and took part in our Operation Iraqi Freedom in 2009. He returned home to the San Luis Valley and graduated from Adams State University in 2013. He began his career as a Veteran and Military Affairs Coordinator at Adams State and was elected to the Monte Vista City Council. Matthew's dedication to education and social justice led him to take the position as the director for the Adams State University Prison College Program. He also earned a Master's of Science in 2020. He was the first elected to the Colorado House of Representatives in 2022, when he was appointed the Vice Chair of the House Education Committee and sits on the Agriculture, Water, and Natural Resources Committee, and was appointed to the Joint Select Committee on Rising Utility Rates. Matthew and his wife Chelsea currently reside in Monte Vista with their 3 dogs. And his accomplishments that he'd like me to mention is 25 bills he has passed. 80% of those were bipartisan. Veterans mental health care, support for rural higher education institutions, support for our families and ranchers and farmers, held utility companies accountable, criminal justice reform, scholarships for in-demand job fields. Matt says he has dedicated his entire life to public service, to being the voice for the underserved, advocating for influential change, and above all, listening to the needs of the people. He will continue to be your champion and your fighter above all else, and your voice in Denver. And I wholeheartedly am proud to stand up here with him. I know he wasn't able to be here, but what Matt has done is exactly what he says. He's always been a man of his word, and a man who wants to bring people together and work throughout his entire community. And he's doing this job truly from the bottom of his heart to make sure that Southern Colorado has a voice and is represented at the state capitol. And I just appreciate him running again and would appreciate your support for Matthew Martinez.
Up next, the race that we will hear from is the State House Representative District 60 race between Stephanie Luck and Catherine Green. Do we have a representative here from either race, either candidate? We will move to the next race, which is the District Attorney 10th Judicial District race between Kayla Beauvais and Kyle Aber. And up first, we will have Kayla Beauvais.
Good afternoon, and thank you for having all of us here today. My name is Kayla Beauvais, and I am running for District Attorney. I was born and raised here in Pueblo, and my husband and I are raising 3 beautiful babies here, and they are 6th-generation Puebloans. So I have a significant interest in the safety of our community, not only for my kids, but for yours, grandchildren, and future generations to come. I'm a career prosecutor. I've been at the DA's office for more than 12 years now, and that's where my heart is. I'm a hard worker. I started working at my grandma's flower shop on East 10th Street when I was 10 years old, making flower arrangements. I've been working ever since, and you can bet that when I turned 16 and got that driver's license, I was volunteering to deliver just because I wanted to drive. But I have a heart for working. That's what I do. I'm a hard worker. I went to Pueblo County High School, CSU Pueblo, got my law degree at the University of Wyoming, and then I came back here to Pueblo, and I've been at the DA's office fighting for the victims in our community ever since. I started as an intern and then went to county court where you prosecute misdemeanors, district court for felonies, and then I promoted to district court supervisor, and I'm now currently the chief trial deputy. I'm in court every day fighting for our community. I'm alongside my deputies that are there, and we have high caseloads. And I am there prosecuting all levels of crime. I've done everything from a petty offense to theft to assault to first-degree murder, and I myself have prosecuted more than 30 murder cases in my tenure. When you're electing your district attorney, think about that person needs commitment, leadership, and experience to lead that office, to lead the attorneys, to train the attorneys so that they have the trial skill set to be able to handle the heinous crimes that we're dealing with in our community. Yes, we have to target violent repeat criminals, but we cannot forget about our small businesses, our business owners that are facing these smash and grabs, repeat theft. That affects not only our economy, but our everyday quality of life here in Pueblo. So we have to make a target there. When people think about coming to Pueblo, what do they look at? They look at our schools and they look at our crime rate, so we have to make a dent. Some of the things that I am going to target are the violent repeat offenders, while also focusing on the lower level crimes as well. Community and education, reach out from our DA's office, because right now the media writes the narrative for our office. So we have to be more transparent with our community. And additionally, we need more attorneys. We need to recruit and retain attorneys so that we can take harder stances on the cases that are coming to us. I have a website, beauvaisforda.com. My Facebook page is Kayla Beauvais for DA. We also have a debate on Monday that the chamber is holding, the Pueblo Chamber. So please tune into that to learn more about me and my opponent. And you can also give me a call. Thank you.
Up next is Kyle Aber.
As Noah noted, I am Kyle Aber, running for District Attorney. I want to start by thanking the Chamber for having us here. It's always nice to be able to get out and speak to the people directly and let them know a little bit about what we're about. I grew up north. I grew up in the suburbs. I went to CU for undergrad and DU for law school, and let me tell you, I couldn't wait to get out of there, and I did as soon as I could. Right after I graduated law school, Jeff Trostner hired me down here to come down and be a district attorney. I came down, my wife, my beautiful wife here, she followed me shortly thereafter, and we established our lives here. Like a lot of attorneys, I wasn't sure that I was going to spend my entire life in Pueblo. After about 3 months working and living down here, the decision was easily made. We were going to be here the rest of our lives. We bought a house. We've been here 10 years now. As a DA, I prosecuted, as most do, starting in county court, misdemeanors, petty offenses. After 18 months, moved up to felonies in district court. I worked on the Veterans Court and the Behavioral Health Treatment Court, where I learned a lot about how different strategies and different approaches can really help move the needle on our crime issue. After that, I moved to the city attorney's office. I got a lot of experience working on minor offenses in municipal court. I also got to do something which a lot of lawyers don't get to do, which is actually write laws. And I can tell you, when you have to enforce the laws, it's a lot easier to know what you go through when they write those laws, so it makes it a lot easier to enforce them. 2 years ago, the county hired me away to run the Liquor and Marijuana Enforcement Division. I've been doing that ever since. Me and my wife have been working in the community for 10 years now. We welcomed our son 3 years ago, Finley. We're very happy to be here and raising our family here. The first thing that I think we really need to do at the DA's office is take a broader approach to crime. Our DAs are doing a great job of prosecuting crime, but that's only one thing that we can be doing. I want to build a broad community coalition because cops, courts, and cages do a lot, but they are not going to solve this problem. The community is going to solve this problem. We need to reach out. There are so many people that are interested in safety in this community. They're doing work all over the place and they're not connected. It is the DA's job every day, every hour to work on community safety, and that's where that hub needs to be. I want to bring in all of our groups that we can. I want to bring in the police. I want to bring in the defund the police people. I want to bring in our treatment providers, our schools, our domestic violence shelter, our unions. Everyone has an interest in safety in this community, and when we get together, we can do more with less resources. The other thing we want to do, or one of the benefits, the true benefits of being out in the community and bringing the community together, is you get to meet people like the Chamber's guardian, Fred Galvez. By happenstance, after I started running, I ran into him and he started talking to me about a restorative justice program. This is a program that diverts minor and low-level first-time offenders out of the criminal justice system. It goes through a community panel. They have a very hard path to get back onto the right track, but we make sure they get there. And the beauty of that is we address the problem. We work with these offenders, we get to the root cause of their issue, and then we can save our attorneys and our court time for those serious offenses that we absolutely need to be taken seriously. So I'm Kyle Lieber, thank you very much.
And real quick, this is the final reminder to buy your 50-50 cash giveaways with Mark Nagoga in the back. One lucky winner will be taking half the proceeds after the forum concludes. The next race we will hear from is the Pueblo County Commissioner District 1 race, and it is a three-candidate race with Miles Lucero, Steven Rodriguez, and Epi Grego. And up first, we will have Epi Grego.
Thank you, Noah, for having us here today. My name is Epi Grego. I come from the infrastructure world. I come from doing power lines and underground utilities, water, sewer, and that's the world I did come from before I ran for office. When I ran for office, I cared about Pueblo. What I cared about Pueblo was I just seen the things that were going on in our community, the crime. And let me tell you about the crime here in our community. Just this last weekend, they just had a shooting up in the south side yesterday, and that was pretty sad. I knocked on over 1,000 doors to get in as independent. And let me tell you, everybody was talking about crime, they were talking about their infrastructure, and they're talking about their taxes. And the crime here in this community is, like I said, it's pretty bad. And what I mean by that, the crime in this town is like, you can just walk in the store and take up to $2,000, and that's not good for this community. The drugs, you can walk in, they hand out needles and snort kids, that's not good for our community. And people talked about that here. I mean, when they cleaned up the Riverwalk, that was really good for what they done down there. Same thing with our infrastructure. Our infrastructure in Pueblo, what I did is when I got in office, I cared about the infrastructure because we wanted to get into jail. We did, we got the jail going, Metal Warner Boulevard, that's about a $180 million job. That's for the jail and the Metal Warner Boulevard. And I started that responsible contracting when we did that because I know it was hard for them to bring that in. I started that, and what we did is, it was like a 60-40 with the registered apprenticeship program. Now we just re-amended it, and we did like from 2.5 million to like 500,000. We did OSHA 10, and that's good for our community, because let me tell you, the jobs that have come to this community, it's good. The Metal Warner Boulevard, that's gonna be a new doorway going to Pueblo West. There's gonna be businesses going on there, and also same thing with our taxes. Our taxes went up high. When we were doing our taxes here, I opened up my tax bill and I was shocked. So I went from $1,400 a month to almost $6,000 a month. And I'll tell you what, that $6,000 a month, I mean, a year, that killed me, because I didn't expect it. It's House Bill 211061. And that's hard on the community, because everybody was talking about that in the community when I went to the door to see their taxes going up. And we have to do something to amend them bills. We have to pay attention to the legislators we send up there, because the legislators are the ones that pass the bills. And they have been hurting us. We got to be being stopped on crime. That's not working here. And I just also want to thank everybody for being here, and thank you.
Up next, we will hear from Miles Lucero.
Hey folks, good afternoon. My name is Miles Lucero. Thank you very much to the Latino Chamber for hosting this event, and thank you for all of you in attendance for taking time out of your busy day to be here and hear what candidates have to say. So I'm running for Pueblo County Commissioner in District 1 to bring transparency, professionalism, and critical thinking to that office, and it would be my honor to earn your vote on November 5th. I want to give you a little bit of background about myself and also talk to you about some of the things I hope to accomplish when I'm in that office. I was born and raised out in La Mesa. I graduated from Pueblo County High School as the valedictorian of my class. I then went on to the University of Arizona on an academic scholarship and earned a bachelor's degree in mathematics. I then came home and began my professional career in the freight railroad industry at Pueblo's own MXV Rail. That job is where I really found my home, that industry. It took me to Washington, D.C., then Raleigh, North Carolina. I spent 8 years in that industry managing multi-million-dollar teams, managing large budgets, and it was very, very good to me. But when we moved back home a couple years ago, I wanted to do something that meant more to me and meant more to my community. And that's what brought me to this position today. And that's why I'm here in front of you, is because I'm seeking this office to be the next generation of leadership that has a vision for Pueblo's future. I fully recognize that there are challenges that we as a community are dealing with. Crime, homelessness, economic development. Those things are very, very important, and those things are certainly where areas where I want to focus. And to me, the way that we address the root causes of those issues is by focusing on our children and making sure that all of these kids have quality access to educational opportunities inside and outside of school. And education does not only mean inside our schools. It means access to apprenticeships. It means access to making sure programs like Future Farmers of America, those things are well funded. We have to give these kids opportunities to achieve things and have mentorship opportunities. So they can look at something and look at role models and say, there's a different path out there other than grandma in jail, cousin in a gang. We have to give them mentors. And that's what I strive to do as a tennis coach. I coach my old tennis team. I'm very involved in that community, and I love being a mentor to these young people. I would encourage you to come to the debates that are happening next week so you can hear more about us. I will leave you with this. I am the candidate that has a vision for the future of this community. It's very easy to get caught up in what's happening right now today. And yes, as a county commissioner and the leader, we have to have that. but when I represent this county, you will always know how proud and grateful I am to come from this place, and there will never be a shortage of good things to say about this community that are coming out of my mouth. Thank you very much for your time. Have a great day.
Up next, we have Steven Rodriguez.
Thank you to the Latino Chamber for sponsoring this event. I am a proud lifelong resident of Pueblo and a dedicated advocate for the well-being and progress of our community. With deep roots in this community, I've spent over 30 years working to improve the lives of local residents through ministry, decades of ministry, serving on over a dozen county government boards, as well as working to build my own small business. These roles have honed my skills of leadership, collaboration, and problem solving. These are essential to effective public service. These experiences have provided me with a deep understanding of the issues that affect most Pueblo residents. From economic development and job creation to public safety and affordable housing. MLK Jr. said it best when he said history will have to record that the greatest tragedy of this period of social transition was not the clamor of the bad people, but the appalling silence of the good people. We must vote character, morality, ethics, and values. Our Hispanic values of faith, family, and freedom. I am committed to continue to serve our community with integrity, accountability, and transparency. My father recently passed away, a proud Marine. He fought for life. He fought for our country, and he fought for my family. It is these same principles that I will bring to our community. And I will continue to serve with integrity, honesty, and accountability. We must consider, are we better off now than we were 4 years ago? Are your businesses better off now than they were 4 years ago? As I enter this job, and it is a job, I will continue just serving my community. That's all we ask of our public servants, that we set aside political agendas and fight for our community. I'm Steven Rodriguez, Republican candidate for Pueblo County Commissioner, District 1. I thank you all for your time, and I humbly ask for your vote this November. God bless America. God bless your families, your businesses, and our country and our city.
Last but not least, the final race that we will hear from is the Pueblo County Commissioner District 2 race between Paula McFeeters and Danae Escar. And up first, we will have Danae Escar.
Good afternoon, and thank you all so much for joining us, and thank you to the Chamber for hosting this every year. I think it's always a great event to come to be able to really connect with our community. My name is Danae Escar, and I had the honor of serving you as your state legislator, state representative for this area for 8 years before I was term limited. At the time, I was also honored to serve as your majority leader and as the chair of your joint budget committee, which oversaw at the time a $33 billion budget. I came home ready to just settle into everyday life and started my own small business when this seat became open and vacated, and I started getting phone calls asking me to continue to serve, because that's who I am at my heart as a public servant. I'm a mom, and I bet, you gotta bet that I don't want our schools and our streets to be unsafe, especially for children. Let me tell you what I've done to help keep Pueblo safe. I brought money to build a new state patrol center. The center will provide our law enforcement officers with the resources and facilities they need to effectively protect and serve our community. It's an investment in a safer, stronger Pueblo for all. I've been honored to have been endorsed by the Fraternal Brotherhood of Police Officers, number 837, the Sheriff Deputies Union. And as a state legislator, I ran and passed several bills addressing the root cause of crime, expanding access to mental and behavioral health care. And as a county commissioner, I'm working with the sheriff and the district attorney to find real solutions in turning that old jail into a treatment facility. I've also been a part of roundtable discussions already with experts in the fields to find solutions to preventing crime before it happens. I've also invested already in water and agriculture. That's so vitally important to our county. As a legislator, I was the vice chair of the Ag Committee, and I was also the vice chair of the Water Resources Review Committee, and a member of Water Congress. As a county commissioner, I am honored to be able to serve to represent you on the Arkansas Basin Roundtable in the Fountain Creek Watershed District. I'm already working with Palmer Land Conservancy, Pueblo Water, and local farmers to figure out how we conserve our water and our agricultural land here in Pueblo County. Economic development is something that I believe strongly in that we are missing at the county level. As a legislator, I brought in $500 million in tax credits to help keep Everaz here with the mill rail. I've created and funded the entity that will bring passenger rail to reality with the Front Range Passenger Rail Committee. I brought over $70 million in capital projects from CSU Pueblo to PCC to the state hospital here. These are the things I want to continue to do as a county commissioner, is use my networks and use my experiences from the state and the federal level to bring the money home to Pueblo. Some will have you believe that Pueblo is hopeless and ruined and even burnt to the ground, I've heard. I don't believe in that rhetoric, and I know you don't either. I believe in Pueblo, our strength, our growth, our people, our beauty. Pueblo comes together every time in times of need, and we must come together to stop the us versus them mentality among us. New leaders need to step up away from political rhetoric and don't repeat mistruths or spew misinformation to others. We need leaders who will bring people together. That's what I've done in 10 years. That's what I intend to do as your county commissioner. Thank you.
The final candidate we will hear from is Paula McPheeters.
39 more days. I'm so excited. It has been a long year for me. I'm a native of Pueblo, the proud daughter of a steelworker and a Vietnam veteran. Pueblo native my whole entire life, and running for office was never really something I wanted to do, but this year it's different. There's a saying that I've heard, and I think it's true. There are three kinds of people: those that watch things happen, those that make things happen, and those that wonder what happened. And we have a whole society of wondering what's going on. I've always been a doer, and I have to tell you, I spent the last year going all over Pueblo County, modeling what it is to be a county commissioner by having meetings in all parts of our county. I've been in all different parts of our county, and I've really heard first question I heard, what does a county commissioner do? Which is a great question, most people don't know. Your county commissioners are your administrators of your county. It's a statutory role given to us, and every county has county commissioners that oversee land use and the things that are important to running your government locally. It's an administrative job. It handles budget. It handles funding for your sheriff, your county clerk. All of those other elected officials have budget that comes from the county commissioners. And in those discussions I've had, there's been one thing that has been mentioned to me no matter where I'm at, and it's crime. What can we do about crime? Well, what can a county commissioner do about crime? We can ask our legislators to change the bills that have created the crime crisis that we're in, to make it easier to prosecute, to make sure that we have a protection for our community. I've also heard that a safe community is like a tax credit for small business. If you want small businesses to grow and prosper, you can't do it in an atmosphere of crime. So my attitude towards this role is to really have three priorities. One, public safety, fully funding our sheriff's department, collaborating with our city council and our mayor to make Pueblo County safer. Two, infrastructure, making sure we have the roads, the fire mitigation, the water, all of those issues that go all over our county. They have to be addressed through thoughtful planning, through roads and bridges and the different departments. The third is, of course, economic and workforce development. Safe communities provide that. I want jobs in our community that will be high paying and really bring Pueblo up. And the last is transparency of government. Your government should be open and accessible to you. You should see where your decisions are being made, and it should be easy for you to find that info. So I really want to put resources towards that. My last comment to you is be educated, understand who you're voting for, know where they're coming from, and let's make Pueblo the best place it's ever been by making 2024 the year we decided for change. Thank you so much. I'm Paula McPeters. You can learn more about me at paulaforpueblo.com. Thank you again.
That was the last candidate and the last race we heard from or will hear from. Let's give the candidates one more big round of applause. And one of our last updates will be upcoming events, so I will have our special events coordinator, Alexia Valdez, go ahead and walk us through what's ahead.
I'm wearing heels, so I'm still too short. Hi everybody, like Noah said, my name is Alexia Valdez, and I have the pleasure to be the special events coordinator here at the Latino Chamber of Commerce. And luckily, we have a couple of really fun upcoming events coming up. So if you have nothing to do next Wednesday at 8 o'clock in the morning on your way to work, then please join us for our Latino Supremo coffee break when you are able to hear from the Firefighters Union, who is going to be our sponsor for the event. This will be hosted at the Firefighters Union Hall over here on Main. And then the really big announcement that we have that we were able to announce this year is that we will be hosting the first annual Dia de los Muertos costume parade that will happen on Dia de los Muertos on November 2nd at the Pueblo Riverwalk. Admission to walk in the parade will be $10. So you can find that registration link at pueblolatinochamber.com underneath our events tab. We hope that this is going to be a very, very big event. Follow us on Facebook for more information on that. You will see that there are about 2,000 people interested in the event, so it's going to be really big for Pueblo. After that, we have our after-hours professional mixer hosted by Minnequa Works Credit Union. And that is going to be on November 7th from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. at their Eagle Ridge location. Any of our coffee breaks and after hours are free to attend. And then finally, on November 22nd, we will have our fourth quarter membership appreciation luncheon that will be hosted at Nettie 3 at one of our local I think it's like K through 12, K through 8, K through 8, thank you. So you can come and see the new building that we have there. The price for that is discounted for the membership appreciation at $21 per person, which you can also find on our website.
All right, who's ready to have a chance to win some money? One lucky winner will be walking away with $65, and the lucky red ticket will be ticket number 1522694. Again, that's... We will verify the winning ticket real quick.
Verified.
We have an official lucky winner. And with that, that does conclude the Latino Chamber's 2024 Candidate Forum Luncheon. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all to the candidates for participating. Good luck the next couple of months. Have a nice weekend, and thank you all once again.